Hi, I'm Joseph Scaberis with CET Color, and today we're going to demonstrate our Q6-500L. What is a Q6-500L? It is our 4x8 flatbed printer. It is a linear drive machine, so it's an upgrade from a belt-driven machine. It also uses state-of-the-art Ricoh Gen 6 printheads. All of our machines are field upgradable as well, so you can start off at a certain amount of printheads and add them at any point to be able to get more production out of your machine. Here we have our carriage where all of our printheads are actually located. So this is going to be an integral part of your machine to be able to do your daily maintenance, any type of technical concerns, or just be able to get the printer purged and ready to go for production. We have yellow buttons on either side of the carriage here. These are purge buttons. So during your daily maintenance routine, basically what you're going to do is you're going to hold that purge button down for 3 to 5 seconds, let ink actually formulate on the print head, then you're going to take a lint-free cloth and you're going to wipe the head to be able to make sure that it is ready to go when you want to print. From here, we also have other features on this carriage right here to be able to help you produce product. We have anti-static suppression kits built on either side of the gantry itself, or the carriage itself, I should say. We also have crash guard sensors on either side of the carriage. Our anti-static suppression kit is designed to be able to go back and forth over your material to be able to suppress static as much as possible. Now, it's not 100%, it's not completely foolproof, so we still recommend correct humidity. We also recommend wiping your material down with isopropyl alcohol before you do print anything. Our crash guard sensors are here to be able to protect the print heads. So if you do have your printer and it's going back and forth over material and it happens to run into something, that crash guard sensor is going to notify the printer that it hit something. It's going to raise itself up and it's going to go to its home position. From there, the machine will tell you, do you want me to cancel this job or do you want me to continue this job? You can determine that based off of, obviously, if your material has been lost or not. Something that's really cool about this as well is if you notice that the crash guard sensor is getting close to hitting something, you can pause your job mid-print, you can raise the carriage up a little bit, and then you can also continue from there. That helps you not waste any material and not waste any time, so you can still print and produce product quickly. All of the other features of this machine are basically all enclosed right here. We have our waste ink, which is below the carriage and the gantry. Whenever you do get that waste ink full, there's a lever down there to be able to open it up, and then you can dispose of that into any type of gallon jug or anything that you have waste ink that you put in for other machines or any type of other equipment that you may have. Our carriage also has a media detection option for it. So whenever you are printing and you are changing from one material over to the next, you'll be able to determine how thick your material is with the detection pin in the carriage. It will come over, it will read the registration of the material and tell you how thick it is, and then it will begin printing from there. This is something that's very crucial. If you're printing on something that is super thin, or if you're printing on something that's super thick, we want to make sure that we determine and we change the height of our carriage appropriately. Our printers are capable of printing up to 4 inches in material thickness. So obviously switching from one material to the next can be very crucial, and that's why we want to make sure that we check the material before we actually print. There's a couple features on the front of this machine that are also worth noting. Obviously, this is a linear magnetic rail system. So if you notice, there is a magnetic rail that actually helps the carriage go back and forth over the print area. It's a 30% increase in production speed to move from a belt-driven system to a magnetic rail system. So it's a really big option for customers to be able to help produce product quicker. Other nice things about that are it lowers your consumable costs, and it also helps with calibrations. Your printer is not basically rattling down the road as it's going back and forth from the pulley and the belt. Over in the front here, we have a power button and we have a vacuum button. Those are really the only buttons that we have on this machine other than our purge buttons. Everything else is done on our onboard PC, which has our control software, which controls everything else about the printer. We have a power button, obviously very simple. It turns the printer on and off. The other button that we have is a vacuum button. The vacuum button obviously helps pull the material down with a vacuum system and be able to help keep everything flat. Now the vacuum system does have different zones to it. So it has got 4 quadrants that are all 2x4 zones. If you're using the entire 4x8 bed, then you can keep all of the zones open. If you need to be able to print on something smaller, like a 24x36, a 4x4, or whatever have you, you can actually turn those zones off with the green levers that we have at the bottom here. So if you're using only half of the bed, or you're only using a portion of the bed, you can turn different zones of those off to be able to help increase suction over to the area that you actually are printing to. The other option that we have is a pin registration that comes out from the table. So the pins pop out from the table and help you align your material appropriately. So if you're printing on a full 4x8 sheet and you want to do double-sided work, you'll pull the pins up, they'll pop out from the table, you'll align your material, and then you'll push the pins down. It helps with registration every single time. Nice feature about it too is if those pins are ever lifted up out of the bed, the printer will actually not begin printing with those out. Some other printers out there, they have to have the registration pins where you have to actually screw them into the table. And if you forget that your material is thinner than those pins, you can be in for a world of hurt whenever your material, whenever your head goes back over it and damages your print head. So the nice part about this is if those pins are up in the up position, that printer will not print. But it is an awesome feature to be able to do double-sided work, to be able to do piece work, or just to be able to obviously set up your jobs appropriately. If you ever decide that the material needs to be blown up, or if you need to be able to move the material around and glide for it, this vacuum will actually turn into a blower. It'll then be able to reverse it and be able to blow the material up for you. So it's nice if you have something that's high static yield, or if you're trying to move something around on the table to be able to then set it in place. And if it's a little heavy or something like that, and you just have one person operating the machine, that blow option is very, very nice to have. Our printers are all controlled with an onboard PC that has a control software. Every printer comes with a PC that is specifically created exactly for that machine. A lot of machines out there are buttons and all sorts of different types of applications that you have to push and press, and it can be really confusing sometimes. We've kind of like simplified it, narrowed it down, and put everything that we potentially could need on the controller itself. So whether that be print action to be able to actually print the job, maintenance to be able to determine how often it's doing its misting features, raising your carriage to be able to determine how thick you need to be able to check your material, or on the fly raising your carriage if in case you notice that you may run into something. Everything is all done through the print controller on the PC that is inside the machine. Very nice, very great feature, and it also helps deliver data faster to the machine so that you can print stuff a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently. Thanks for watching. If you have any other questions, make sure to visit us on our website, www.cetcolor.com, or reach out to a local sales representative or distributor.